Yabba dabba dabba doo. This is YieldMax Mindset coming to you. Year two, I believe week 6. Um, let's get to it. So everything was going pretty good up until Friday, as you all know. At this time here, 9 a.m. Friday, I was almost at 78,000. Up $5,500, 7.65%. And then what was I at Friday? At 9 o'clock Friday. Oh, I was still asleep. Yeah, I was still asleep. And it's getting up, um, um, getting ready to get up and take my mom to physical therapy. And so I believe I was probably there around 10 or 11. Anywhere, somewhere around here is when I start. Sometime after 10 is when I start seeing the alerts. Uh, I think I saw the alerts about the announcement, but the market started reacting, and at first I didn't know why. I was like, "What's going on?" I get an alert saying we're down. Boom, ETH down, Bitcoin down, Pro down. I was like, "Wow." Then I saw the 100% announcement on the tariffs. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" But anyway, it's all good. So we was at almost 78,000. So see where we at. Live right now, we're up $89. As you saw for the day after midnight. Uh it's bounced. It's is at 28. It was at 3K, and around 8 o'clock it was at 5K. So but anyway. All right, so we did show you for the week. I was here. We came all the way down here from 70. Let's just go ahead and round this baby up, right? 78,000 all the way down to 59,000, right? So according to the timestamp, when I took the picture, I think I took it right about here. I think because it was about 4:15. Yeah, it was about 4:15 when I said, "Let me get a power nap in before I head to work." But anyway, it is what it is, people. All right, so this is our projection for the month. We are up $6,556. As you can see, we was making a climb, and then every time we get up, something happens, right? All right, for the past 3 months, you can see we're almost back here. Back in July, we was at that 81, 82, may even hit 83 at one time, I think. We was close to it. That was about the highest. Now, this is year to date. This is the highest my account has been. As far as showing the individual investing. All right. All right. Year to date, 16,000. We're up for the past year. 34,198. All time, 31,337 for 91.57%. All right. Our buying power is at $8,618. We got dividends on Friday, so that bumped it up. All right. So that also increased our available margin, which now sits at $140,000. We have used 131,385, and that will be explained when we get the Excel sheet why it's up. All right. Our portfolio buffer margin status, says low risk, $11,194 at 18.86%. Alrighty. Let's see here. Daily interest rate. It was at 14. Now that we borrowed 131, it is at $18.11 of daily interest. All right. So first interest is the first $1,000 is always free. Should you be using margin? Even though my account says, what was it, 65,000 in investing. You can see here it's actually more than that. It's between 100 and 1 million. And I will tell you because on the app, I'm able to show you that without showing you my personal information. So let's see here. My phone says my stock in ETF, excuse me, my stock in ETF sits at $195,407. That's my stock in the ETF. It says this is the total value of the stocks in the ETF in your individual investment account. It does not include investments or cash held in your other Robinhood accounts. So my other holdings, which will be my Dogecoin, is at 1,580. All right. So when you say 195,000, which is what I just mentioned to you all, and you subtract the 131,000 that I've borrowed, that leaves the 65,000 plus the Dogecoin. That adds up to be 65,589. All right. So my available to withdraw from this account sits at $4,083. So that's what we're able to withdraw from Robinhood account. If we wanted to take some money and go, I don't know, pay something. All right, so this shows the maintenance ratio for each position that I have. The required margin requirement is the market amount that has to be maintained for that position, if I'm not mistaken. This is percentage of total required. It's 39.53%. My market value is at 80,000 and the open P&L right here, special account is a negative 44. ICOI 2,000 negative, 6,000 positive on Palantir. Mist is at a negative 12,000. Plate is at a negative 1,300. Ultra is at a negative 2,600. AMD is a negative 1,600. SMCI is a negative $331. SMCY is a negative 1,300. Bull is a negative almost 1,000. IMRA is a negative 369. Tesla is a negative 666. AIYY is a negative 398. Hui is a positive 126. SoFi is a positive 157. YieldMax is a negative 155. XPay is a negative 28. YBit is a negative 278. Forget that, whatever that is. iMiss is a negative $20, and forget that too. All right. So let's talk about these positions right quick. All right, so our first position up is Misty. It's one of our top dogs. It's up 14% overnight. Market value is at 13,000. Average cost is $27. $25.70 for 1,000 shares. At Misty at $13.12. It would be nice to bring down this average cost. So what I would essentially do, I would actually double this position at 1,000 shares. So I will go this would tell me, I'll say that plus 13, 12, and then divide that by 2. So my new average cost would be $19.41 if I was to double my position in Misty right now. Next, we have Coney, my number one position on my investment, other than, well, I guess Coney is my number one position when it comes to stocks. I was going to say AMC, but I think Coney edges it out. I think. All right. So it's at $7.23. It's up 12 cents overnight. Market value is at 83,868. Average cost is still at 1078 for 11,600 shares. This is going weekly. So yeah, a lot of you asked me how did I feel about Coney going weekly. Well, I can say that waiting a whole month to get paid for Coney, especially when it's your biggest position, and you have 3 weeks where the market can go up and go down, and because I have a high risk margin account, it's not because margin is necessarily high risk. It's because I use practically 95% of it, so that makes it high risk account for me. Even though it says low right now, because it's in good standing. But overall, I'm using a lot of margin. All right. So, how do I feel about Coney? Initially, I would have preferred that it had been delayed a week, and that I would have gotten my. Let's see if I can pull a calendar up here. Let's go here. I don't know if this works. Not. This is October. It may be too big for you all to see, but let's try. All right. So let's see. Coney would have gotten paid this okay, Friday. So this was A, B, C. Coney would have gotten paid this week. Is that right? Where's this at? All right, let's see. Let's make sure. All right, so Group D, yes, Coney would have gotten paid this week, this coming week. I would have gotten paid Friday. And it probably would have been maybe with that dip on Friday that really hurt. But yeah, that would have but it still would have been maybe $3,000 to $4,000, right? So I would have preferred to have gotten that paid out, and then this week here, which would have been Group D getting paid out with Misty, we could have went weekly here. That's how I would have preferred it. That's me being selfish, right? Because I have my big position, which is Coney, and it always these little dates and changes with things are always happening. I feel with me right before I get ready to make a decision, boom, something happens. So my intent was to get this big dividend here. I was hoping it was going to be big, at least $3,000 to $5,000 with Coney. I was going to somewhere between here, whenever back here to up to October 22nd or 23rd, I was going to sell my Palantir if it was close to 200 or 190. I was going to sell it regardless. Go ahead and take that profit and lock it in, even though I'm waiting all these days for it to get back up to 190 and go beyond 190 and hit 200. Now, with my luck, the way I do stuff is before the market dropped on Thursday, I said, man, you know what? I may go ahead and sell this Palantir because it's at 184, 185, 186. I said, I ain't gonna sell it, but I was like, man, things going good. We may go and get that close to that 200. So I'm gonna wait. right? Because I got time to sell it up until the 23rd because that's when I want to buy, potentially buy my second position or my third purchase technically, but my second biggest purchase of IOC from Bitwise, right? And that was gonna do because I knew I was gonna get this paid out. That was gonna help my margin. That was also gonna give me more buying power. Uh, when I'm selling, I was gonna get buy. So if I had five, let's say I had $5,000 on Coney, right? So that automatically doubles my buying power to 10K because it's 5K in dividends. Robinhood doubles it, right? So that's 10,000 available. Excuse me. And then I sell my Palantir, right? My Palantir was going to be about 27, 28,000, right? So let's just say 27, oops, plus 27,000, right? Now, of that 27,000, 7,000 of that would have been profit, right? So so that's the 10 plus the 27 is 37. So then we add another 7 because Robinhood is going to double. That puts it at 40, 45,000, right? Make our big purchase here. Bam. So we get about maybe 1,100 or 1,200 shares of ICOI plus the 800 I already got. Was it at around 2,000? So we're just gonna sell 2,000 shares, right? And IOC has been averaging over the past. Let's see if I got it pulled up here. I don't, but let's bring it up. ICOI. Oh, there it is. All right, so 52-week high 65 to 31 to 65. They got 41 million on the assets. The volume is not too high because it's just people just hadn't got in it or they don't know because it's only been out since April the 1st, so it ain't been out that long, right? All right, so the dividends in the past 5 months has totaled $30.98 for 90% yield, right? So since May, it is averaging $6.20 since May. And so I bought some, let's see, my earliest position here, show more, ICI. So I bought some back in June, about one share, because Mike Lesser and there was somebody else that mentioned about getting I don't know if it was Live Your Life or if it was who's the other individual? I forgot your name, but you had mentioned this. You said ICOI, you said IMR, I mirror, and I missed. And I start looking, I said I'm gonna buy one. So I bought one back here in June. Um, then I bought 50 more shares in July. And let's see here. I bought another 9 shares, look like 10 shares there. But anyway, so I bought back in June and I was watching it. So this is June. So yeah, and eventually I ended up having 70 shares, right? All right. So what was I at? What was I at? What was I at? What was I talking about? Got lost here. Uh, what was I talking about? I know I was talking about ICOI. Oh, I was talking about the number of shares, right? 2,000 shares, right? So that's about where I would be. So 2,000 shares, let's say just for the fun of that, it's still averaging somewhere between 5 and 6 shares. Boom. $12,400 if it's averaging 5, 6, somewhere between 5 and 6. We did see that the low that it's paid was September, $4.79, which is still good. Um, So it's only had one time back here in July. I would pay $9.24, which is crazy. And that was the individual that somebody was telling me about it. I can't remember who you are. Is it Alan? Not Alan. No. But anyway, somebody told me about it other than Mike Lester as well. And so I got to doing the math and calculations. Boom. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, moving along. Oh, getting back to Coney. That's where we were. So that's where this led up to because I was going to. Is that right? I think. I got to turn around here. But anyway, how did I feel about Coney? I yes, I was talking about my big position here. Where is it at? Here was talking about this calendar. Talking about my big position. I would have preferred that yes, that it gotten delayed for my sake, and then start paying weekly the week group D for Misty. Yep. So that's my thoughts. But so getting paid weekly with Misty, um, so just with not Misty Coney, 11,600 shares, right? And let's say, well, like Coney paid 45 cents the other time. So divided by 4, you're looking at 11 cents, right? So times 11,600. So that's $1,300. Let's say it's doing that minimum, right? It's doing the bare minimum. So I'm getting $1,300 a week, right? But so in all the YieldMax position, other than 2, I got a total of yes, if I'm not mistaken, I got a total of 14 positions in the YieldMax account. So that means other than 2, so that put it at 12. So on 12, I got 2 on Thursday that I get paid OT and YMax, and then the other 12 pays me every Friday. So this is just Coney. So the other positions may add up to be another 700 to 1,000. So anywhere, so you look at it. So I'm averaging about 8,000 right now. It just got bumped up to 12,000, right? So on average, if I'm getting 12,000 in dividends and you divide it by 4, I should be getting about 3K a month. Now, if I'm able to secure my IOC, that should put me at 15,000 a month divided by 4. So that's where I'm going to be averaging somewhere between maybe 25 and 3,700 a week, which is nice, which is going to be nice. And what that does, that gives me money more frequently and a large amount um, to offset any dips in the market or potential getting margin call. I can have that reduce the balance, and that gives me more buffer. And I can just patiently wait at the end of the month or the first of the month and let that total equal the sum of 12 or 15,000 and make a decision at the first or at the end of the month either to split it up into thirds. The third goes to the margin, a third goes to reinvest, and a third goes outside to pay debt, or we split it in half. Half goes to margin, half goes to debt. All right. So that's my thinking. All right, let's get on here. All right, so that's Misty. I think we covered Misty. Yep, because we're in Coney. And this is Bitwise. Bitwise. ICOI. So this is 800 shares. It's at 34.55. Market value is at 27,640. We're down 2,100 in that position, and we're hoping to add to this position. Margin maintenance, our ratio is at 25%. So we have to maintain at least 25% of this market value of 27,000 $640, which is $6,910. All right, next position we got is Ulti. Ulti is at 539, is up 8 cents in the overnight market. $8,000, we're down 2,500, 706. All right, YieldMax is another position we got paid dividends. Now, I ain't showing them the dividends, but if you go look at the post, you'll see them. I know sometimes I show them, but I don't know where I'm at because my little thing isn't showing me the time, so I don't know where I'm at on time right now. So we're gonna keep moving along. Palantir right now in the overnight market is up $3.48 for a stock price of $178.92. Market value is at 26,838. We're up 7,900. $7,093 in profit for just 150 shares at an average cost of $131. All right. Oh, so this is something I just came across before starting this video. Grayscale Ethereum Cover Call ETF. Symbol ETCO. So I'm jumping ahead of myself, but where you at? YieldMax. For those of you who don't know this, check out this website. Most of you do know this by now. So I estimated 35, right? Here. But I think when I was doing the calculator earlier, we was about 44, 45, right? So let's just go on. Round it up, make it 45. 45 that I have in buying power, right? You know, and initially my whole thing was get Coney one more time, pay out in October, but I did buy 800 shares of ICOI, which was about 26,000. The plan originally was to hold that, get another payment here in October, take that and pay off a credit card, right? That was the initial thing. But that changed once I come across ICOI, and I felt like I needed to go ahead and lock this baby in because she and I think at first sight we had this connection that just drew me to her. You know, the way she looked, the way what she was offering, um, and it was just I won't say love at first sight, maybe it was lust at first sight, but anyway, um, so there's three positions that I'm potentially interested in. I was going to go all in on ICOI with this next purchase, but now I'm thinking about diversifying my position a little bit. You know, trying to be a little smarter and not just reckless and high risk when it comes to investing. So you all can have a peace of mind, right? Not necessarily me. No, I'm not doing this for you all. I'm doing it for me. So, but anyway, all right. So there's three positions that I'm potentially interested in, right? TSYY. As you can see, it is pretty much identical to HOYY. Let's see who this one is by. This one is by Granite Shares. You see it's $25.98. Last paid out 69 cents. TSYY 824 paid out 22 cents pretty much. So I'm looking at pretty much identical. Well, pretty much ratio wise. Look at those numbers, pretty much identical on a $45,000 invested. You got COYY, which is paying out more, but it's pretty much another Coney position. And I already got Coney, and then I got ICOI, and those are all in the same family technically. So, you know, I don't want to go all in on Coney, but it seems to be the Coneys and maybe some of the Teslas and Misly positions that have multiple ones with different hedge funds. And I don't want to just go all Coney. But I do like Bitwise so far what I'm seeing with them. And I'm not a TAE techno analysis, just I see it making money and I'm like, okay, let's get some of that. Right? So TSYY, I thought I would, Tesla was making this little way up and look like this position is near its 52-week low. So I'm like, hey, it's paying 22 cents a month technically. Let's see, do I have it pulled up here? That's Play T for those that want to see what Play T's been doing. TSYY. Now I'm not convincing. I'm not telling you to buy this, right? I'm just telling you what I'm doing. As you can see, it's pretty much as average 22 cents, right? Here, when it was paying monthly, it was doing a little bit better. Then it went to weekly, um, and I think it was the price of it was up there. And I was like, oh, 22 cents, but it's up there. So now at this price, it's at 7. It was at 8.15, so it's even better. So that position, excuse me, and another position that I was looking at, splitting that in thirds at 45 in the thirds. I don't know if the ratios will be exactly equal third weight, right? Where's the other one? This here, I just discovered this one tonight, which is ETCO. And this is Ethereum, grayscale Ethereum cover call, right? So let's take a look at this over here. Where are you? I thought I had it keyed in. Let's key it in. All right. So this one has 6 million under 6 million assets under management, right? Inception was September 4th, so it is fairly new. 52-week highs 39, 52-week lows 27. All right. And so what I discovered from reading the website, so it paid out $2.24 here. That's just one payment, and it's Ethereum, but they're gonna pay bi-monthly. Let's see if I have their website still pulled up. I know I had it right here, right here. So this is all right. So here we are, October. So you got a declaration announcement on the 13th and the 28th, the EX date, and record date, and then pay date. So it's paying bi-monthly. I read it. It says that it's going to pay on the 1st and the 15th. So let's back up. I was reading the details. Where did I read it at? I think right here. Bi-weekly distribution. ETCO is designed to distribute dividends twice per month, prioritizing a consistent cadence of distribution to investors. Target payments date on the 15th and the 30th of every month. So, and then this is Ethereum, and it's by Grayscale. Now, if some of you are familiar with, I think his YouTube channel is Ether Invest. I think that's what it was. Ethan Invest. I think that's what it was. Let's see here. Let's see here. Ethan Invest. Let's see. Let's see if this is him. Yep. This is this guy right here. Ethan Invest. He has his own business, and he was one of the guys that went heavy in the Coney. I mean, he put a lot of money. This dude is loaded. He put a lot of money into Coney. His plan, if I remember, he went into Coney and he was getting the dividends, and he's probably stayed in Coney for maybe 3 or 4 months. And he said, "Wait, this thing ain't gonna work. I'm getting out." But he was gonna take that money and put it into LCTN and BG something. They were Grayscale Trust LTCN and something else. And he said that they were going to go sort of like crypto, except this was going to be huge. He's got a lot of money into LTCN, I believe it is. I may be saying the symbol wrong. Let's see here. Um, LTCN. Yep. Litecoin Grayscale Trust. I believe this was it. He went heavy into this position because of the bull cycle. See, this baby right here, last bull cycle when most of y'all probably know, but Bitcoin, which I didn't know, when I got in 21 in Dogecoin, I got in on the end of the crypto bull cycle. But this is where it ran up the last time. It ran up to $366, right? This time, I think they were projecting this baby when we do have this next bull cycle run, that this baby is going to go up to like let's see, I thought I wrote it down. I got it on the wall somewhere on the bulletin board. Oh, there it is right there. LTCN. He and I forgot the other guy that's a technical man, he does technical analysis. But anyway, he predicted it at that time um, to go between 2,300 and $5,000 when this bull run comes around this time. 2,300 and 5,000. So I got me a small position in it in my Charles Schwab account that you don't see. And the other symbol was BCHG. BCHG. This is Bitcoin Trust. So what was that one? That was Litecoin. Okay. So this was Bitcoin Trust. All right. So they said, and they were projecting this one to go between 250 to $1,500. All right. So you can see it's 5 years ago. So we go back to 2021, it got up to its highest point was $55. And you can see now it's been as low as 50 cents. So it was doing the crypto winter. You can see we had a little activity here. It's going up to 16 and whatnot. But those were the price targets for those one. And there was another one they were projecting. Man, I'm getting way off. Where was I at? We was talking about IOC, Coney. Oh, we was at this chart here. Where is it at? What did I do? Where you at? Where you at? YieldMax. ETCO. And so, as you can see, these are the two positions, or three. TSYY and ETCO and ICOI. So I was contemplating if I was able to get that anywhere from 35 to 45 in buying power. I'm going to put that in this position, a portion into this, a portion in here, and a portion in here. So that's where I was going to go to have a little balance of Ethereum. All right. Not telling you all to do that. It's just something that I just discovered this baby before getting on here and making this video. My plans was to do ICOI. Let's call that ICONI or ICO or ICONI, right? and TSYY. That was the plan. Yep. All right. So moving along, because we got to get to our Excel sheet. So this is my cash only account here. We did have some Coney here. We sold it. We did have some Ulta here. We sold that and put it into TSYY and put more into this position here, ICOI, right? We was getting ready to sell some of these other position and put it in here. Well, because I estimated if I sold most of these, right, and kept just Tesla and put it in there, that instead of averaging, what is this? What did I have here? So far we made $98 in this account this month, right? So 2 weeks pretty much has gone by. So we're probably looking at just a little bit over $200, right? But if I were to put majority of these positions into here, which I'm sort of going into putting more into putting my eggs into one basket, right? But that was going to be looking at averaging about $700 a month, which will be growing this account way faster than maybe $200 I'm getting a month if I'm fortunate. All right. So that was something we was thinking about, but now YieldMax is making all these weekly, so I don't have to wait uh, a whole month to get paid out of these positions. They'll get paid weekly, and so I sort of held up, but because I do like some of these, I like these. So, but that's something we still may do because we got up to the 22nd or 23rd to decide if we want to do it or right after on the EX date and get it even at a lower price. So that's what was come to play. All right, what else we got here? So that's what we're saying we're averaging 231, but it's less than that because these don't really factor into what I did when I started here, right? All right. Once again, YieldMax, and this website was created and designed by Bad Financial Decision. That's her YouTube channel. Channel. She has great content over there. Go check her out. And like I said, this was the ETCO position. It mentioned that it was getting paid bi-weekly. It says high income potential. ETCO, or ETCO, I don't know, is designed to maximize income and generate through cover calls right into Ethereum. I don't know what ETPO transfer protocol. E that's ETPS, right? Anywhere. Underlying reference assets. So I don't know a lot about this. I just came across it, right? You can see the holdings, Treasury bill, Ethereum. That looks like a call at $34. If I'm seeing it right, I think I'm getting the lingo a little bit, you all. Here's cash. I'm not sure what that is. I'm sure that's a fund with some sort of bank or something. Here's some more calls. There's a put at 34. There's a call at 42. Um, so there's a distribution right there. But anyway, they're designed to pay bi-monthly on the first and on the third. All right. Let's see. Oh, let's get to Excel spreadsheet. So this is probably going to be updated this week with YieldMax, especially when Tuesday get here, because this layout will no longer be for group A, B, and D, and C, and all that. The weekly pairs. If I'm not mistaken, all these weekly pairs are going to pay out now on Thursday, and all these positions here will pay out on no. Because you have your target 12, they won't pay out. So it's gonna be quite a few, but most of these won't. But it will be 14 total positions for me. And let's just hit the new positions right quick. So BRCK is a new one, fairly new. Roblox Reddit right here. These two are fairly new. Let's see here. Dre is fairly new. I think that's DraftKings. GME, fairly new. I don't know if it's paid a dividend. It may have. And then we got Circle, I believe this is right here, and HIYY. I do remember Mike Lesser told me about this one, HIYY. I don't know too much about that one, but he did mention that one. Oh, I think I also posted something in the post on my channel about that one as well. I think maybe I could be mistaken. All right. Oh, Excel spreadsheet. Let's hit that. See how we doing. All right, so October is here, and man, this year is about to be over. Mm. So our goal so far has not worked out, and September, August, September of last year, we were averaging almost about 8K a month then. So I knew going into 2025, new administration, crypto president. Oh man, I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that blow up. And it did right the opposite. It did not do what I thought it was going to do so far. It has had some moments, but it hasn't quite been consistent with like the fourth quarter of 2024. But I think it can and will get better. All right. So my goal originally was to have 30,000 paid off. Um, and then it just wasn't paying enough dividends. So I had to switch course and try to build up my position for my dividends. So right now it's saying, all right, let's just hit it. So right now my active income from my employer for the month of October is at $1,922. We got to make a move here. So we got to go and get this position done for ICOI so we can turn these taxes on and start paying extra before the year is out and get some taxes paid. All right, so year to date we're at $41,479 minus $4,147 for tithes. Excuse me, sorry about that. All right, so previously last week our dividends was at $939.35. Last week we got paid, so that brings our dividends for the month of October to $1,946.42. All right. Total dividends for year to date sits at 76,200. Oh, so y'all probably saying, well, why he wants to add ICOI when he's got so much on margin already. All right. So there's a couple things that I in my head was thinking. So I'm thinking either 10,000 shares or the figure was if you invest between 120 and 150,000 and you didn't have debt if you didn't have debt like I did and you let's say you only had maybe $10,000 in debt and you started investing and somehow you was able to get $150,000 invested. Maybe you had it, you just hadn't used it. You can invest in one of these positions that are high yield on fairly, and pretty much make about eight to $10,000 a month. If I last, when I was looking at Misty when it was paying out heavy, right? Tony, excuse me again. You can literally have a great monthly income, but that hasn't worked out quite the way I was envisioning it for me. So I've had to deviate. But anyway, My thing is now either 120, $150,000 invested to one position, which is not wise, or diversify that, put in multiple position that has decent paying dividends that sort of has um, good NAV protection, and you could pretty much, if you need it, you know, you could have a nice monthly income on that. Um, So my other thing is getting. I wanted to get over 100,000 in dividends paid out for the year. I'm at 76, so I'm a little bit about 25,000. I mean 24,000 away uh, to be able to obtain that goal. So in order to do that, I would need to average over $8,500 a month, because 8,500 a month times 12 puts you over 100,000, and also making $85,000 a month times 12 puts you over a million, right? So that's my thing. Either I thought I would be pretty content with 3 to 5K a month, but then I have so much debt, that ain't the case. But I'm, but anyway. All right, so combined, we have $170,680. Our active income is averaging $43.95 a month, and passive income right now is averaging $76.20. So it's at 7 right now, but when this month total is close to where it should be, 7 or 8,000, then that brings that average back to where it should be. All right. Our prior margin balance was $105,785. It now sits at $131,385. That is because I bought 800 shares. Well, I had 70, and I bought 730 shares of ICOI, which cost me about $26,000. So that increased my margin back up again. As you can see, we highest total here was 323,000. Now we got it down to 303,000, and then we bought that. Now it's at 329,000. So making another 20,000 or 40,000 is going to put us up there, people. But that should put us getting 15K, and I would like to go into the new year averaging 15K a month in dividends, and then we will spend 2026 paying down the margin, paying down debt, right? Which was the goal of 2025, but things beyond my control changed that. All right, so Robinhood Gold is at $45. Robinhood interest for the year is at $3,000. So look, $3,000 in interest on um, the dividends that I've made, which is 76,000. That is not a bad trade-off. So the people are like, I won't use margin. I ain't gonna do margin because y'all use it wrong and you get yourself in those situations. Yes, you can. But if you're disciplined and wise, you can use it to your advantage. OPMI, borrow that money from Robinhood. I paid $3,000 on the interest that I borrowed, but I have made $76,200 off the OPM margin that I borrowed. All right. So now it sits at 131,385, but it wasn't always as high. Generally was in the between 30 and 50. That's generally where it was at. As the time moved on, I began to borrow more. All right, so my 401k loan has been reduced to $21,733. So our total debt now sits at $329,276.51. All right, so that's where we stand right now. All right. So Coney's at borrows at 126,207. We are 50% from house money. Misty, we sit at $3,315 away from being at house money. Now, like I said, I really want to reduce my Misty position, as not position, but bring down my average cost from what was 25. Would love to get that, because when we do get that bull market run and Misty starts to run up, and I'd be like, man, if I had got Misty at 19, because now it's at 30, I can sell it for profit. So I could set in a stock limit order, and when it dropped, a few dollars or whatever, I can get kicked out and walk away with all that profit before crypto winter comes in. But anyway, Misty is 87%, so we are 13% away from being in house money with Misty. Ulti, we are 7,200, $7,022 away, 35%. We are was that 65% away from having total house money on Misty. So altogether, with our top three position, which ICOI will eventually probably be added to this position, these group just for our top tier positions, we're 55% away from having house money for combined of those positions. All right, where we at now? All right, DV tracker. I said DV tracker. Yes, there we go. 151, 353. They have me having a monthly income of $12,613. Weekly incomes over $2,900. As you can see, it says we have total of 26 holdings in our investment account. 260,000, 208. Yeah. So that's where we are. It's saying we're getting dividends tomorrow. So it's saying this is Monday. So it's saying Tuesday we're getting a payout of $12.48. This is starting to happen too frequently for me, getting these dividends paid out as frequently weekly. By the time I turn around, I'm getting paid out again. All right. Like President Trump said, you get tired of just making money. You get tired of making money. You ain't gonna know what to do with yourself. All right. So our snowball analytics says we're just gonna get to the nuts and bolts. Some of you may have seen this, but it is late and I'm ready to get to bed. All right. So let's see here. Total dividends 109,000. Realized profit 295. Capital gain is a negative 62,000. That's because Friday we went down big. So that's where we stand in total profit 47,000. Let's get this over. Can we get this over some more? Come on. $47,370. All right. Cost basis for all my positions $261,129 away. All right. So dividends received in October, as you can see, Palantir, OT, Tesla, YBit, YieldMax, and XPay. All right. Let's take all right, so that's 2023. That's where we were. Small change, nothing serious. 2023 went away. We got into 2024. Like I say, we got into Tesla, I think, in OARC initially, just testing the position out. And then here's when we took that 26,000, added to it, and we began to make money. You see, 4,000. October last year, we made 7,400. November, we made 10,370. In December, 9,221. All right, so that was the end of last year. So, the beginning of this year, we was like, oh, yeah, we just, yeah. Even with more money, we wasn't doing what we thought we was going to be doing. Boom. Did have a nice May, but that's cost Coney paid twice. And here we are so far. All right. It's got future payments, 12 next month. So it's got me averaging about 12K. All right. Let's get the Q&A. All right, let's go back here. Let's see if we got something back here. Let's do this. All right, so that's 9 days ago. So that's old. So we're right here. All right, 6 days ago. Ideasy said, I am new to dividends. If I dump 100K into Coney, would it be worth it? And how much would I get back in dividends monthly? Dave, the lender says, laughing out loud. The name of the game is diversification. You should never put all your money all into one stock. He got 3 likes. Ideasy said, at Dave, okay. Yes, I'm also thinking about putting money into weekly paying ETFs. Which ones would you recommend? I want to make sure I'm doing this right. I have a 9 to 5 making 8 to 10K a month. I don't want to borrow money. I just want to grow it myself. So I don't want to be in much debt. He got 2 likes. And he says, I've heard about OT and WPay. Would you recommend these? Mike Lester said, Dizzy, if I were you, I would put 50K split evenly into solid growth stocks such as Nvidia, Palantir, Hood, MicroStrategy. I don't know what KTOS is. I don't know what that is. I looked it up, but I was like, I ain't never heard of that. I don't know what that is, Mike. And he says, and then I will take the other 50 and split it evenly into these high yield dividend stocks that are on fire, Brother Mike says. I will put it into the Robinhood version, HOOOW. I will put it into the YieldMax version, HOOY. I would do the same with Palantir for Robinhood and YieldMax. I would do the same thing for Misty. I believe that's around here as well. And ICOI and Nvidia and COOY. He said, thank me later. Wink, buddy. He got 3 likes. I said that I wouldn't put $100,000 into Coney. I like what Dave the lender said with diversification, and I even like better what Mike said with his position he suggested. I would definitely do that, what Mike had said. 2 likes there. Mike says, thanks, bro, for the love, big dog. I said, Mike, I'm taking a screenshot of these positions for future reference now that you giving me the plan to retire early. Mr. Dark Assassin said, I use 1K in margin interest free. And this is what I've been talking about. I ain't read the rest of what he said, but this is what I'm talking about. He uses 1K margin interest free. For those of you that says, no, I don't want to use margin. I'm just going to use my money. That's why I don't use margin. To each its own. To each its own. But this guy is saying, look, I can get free money. Not free money, but I'm getting interest free money. Robinhood is not going to charge me 1 penny, but they're going to let me use $1,000 of their money to put myself in a better position to make more money. That is just like common sense. I mean, $1,000 free interest, just hypothetically, right? $1,000. Let's say he put that in the ICOI, right? ICOI, let's say $35, right? Let's say it's doing the average. It's times 620. So that's $177 off $1,000, right? He does that for the next 11 months. Wow, it ain't even got to be 11 months. So you telling me on $177 times 6. In 6 months, he pays that back. 6 months. And it can be shorter than that if he's recycling that every month. Free money. Man, great. Let me get back to that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go off rail there. Mr. Dark Assassin, you had me going. He said, I use 1K and margin interest free. So would it on I guess he was asking me a question. I ain't finished reading, did I got too excited. So would it only be monthly payments for me paying back that 1K or what? So I says there is no monthly payments for 1K margin interest free. When you get paid your monthly dividends or weekly dividends, it reduces that 1K each time you get a dividend payment until it's paid off. Now, now, now you don't have to wait and pay the full 1K before you can borrow it again. Say your dividends are $300 and it reduces that 1,000 to 700. You can use that 300 again and get it back up to 1,000 and just keep repeating this process, or you can pay the full balance off over time with your dividends and borrow another 1,000 and keep repeating the process. Different strategies. He said, which strategy would you recommend? I'm tempted to use 1,000 or 2K. See, I got ahead of myself. I thought he was just strictly using that 1,000. He saw something there, but he was asking a question. I thought he was stating that's what he did. Because I had already answered it back, but I was just reading there and boom. I said, if this is your first time using margin, just use the 1K and get a feel for a couple months. And then once you're comfortable, you may bump it up a little bit. That they suggest staying within 30 to 40% of your available margin. I can't tell you my strategy because my strategy is very high risk. I'll be using 90% of it. Mm. So yeah. So I thought he was saying that's what he was, but he was asking. So Kelly says, great video loading up on my PTLW and hoodie, SCHG and Tony. I think SCHD is even better than SCHG. Just my opinion. He says, keeping my eyes on WePay. Yes, the best. I think this individual is the one who told me about ICOI, I missed, I think, along with Mr. Mike Lester. He says, I didn't know about the IWM reverse split that might made me hesitate. Thanks for the info. I'm in Tesla. Even knowing about it, reverse split in YieldMax has more or less abandoned the reverse split ideal. Yes, YieldMax has abandoned it because you can go see Marnie and it's at $1.70, $1.80, and they still hadn't reverse split it. And it's still paying the dividend. I think it paid 11 cents out because the price of it went up and it paid 11 cents. Mm-hmm. Dividend says we pay, sir. I'm monitoring. I'm keeping my eye on it. My back. Ugh, I need to stretch my back. Where we at? Right here. All right, 3 days ago. Wolf Bandit says, what do you think about Coney going to weekly? Actually, a bunch of ETFs will be going weekly. I said, I think at first I wish I had gotten another huge payment, as you all heard me stated earlier. I'm starting to think it's going to help because of the weekly payout. It would help tremendously with my margin, and I'll be able to have more flexibility to maneuver. I just, Coney, what did I say here? I just, Coney to average, I'm estimating the Coney to average about, I guess y'all can hear that in the background, right? Coney to average about 35 cents per week. That would be about If Coney was to just average 35 cents per week, that would be about $4,000 a week. But realistically, it's probably going to be about 11 cents per week, which is about $1,200. So 35 would be Coney's average at $1.50 a month, and we know Coney's not paying a dollar over a dollar. So it's probably going to be about somewhere between 11 and 20 cents for a short period of time until till Coinbase gets some movement. Love Your Life says, hopefully Play pulls back and at least pays us $7 in payouts. Waiting to see what Mist is going to do since it's been getting killed. I said Play has hit the $7 mark at least twice in May and in August. Currently averaging $4.16 since inception. Not bad, not bad. We may have to see Bitcoin hit 150 for Misty to start to do something again. JB Music, JBO or JBO Music TV says, just got into PLTY, excited for the returns. You are the man, saving lives one at a time. I says, I'm just bringing people's attention to these high yield ETFs. I wouldn't say I'm saving lives, ha 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 ha, but I do care to share information, leading people to the water, but I can't make them drink. I said, I'm excited that you've gotten into PLTY. Just remember the price always gonna go down from the distribution amount. I'm sure you already know this. I think I saw her make a comment somewhere else. I'm not sure if this is the same lady, but somebody said they made 20. Oh, that was on ICOI. So yeah, this is probably a different person. My good friend Alan said, Coney going to a weekly paying ETF, my friend. What are your thoughts? I said I did want to get this month bit payment. I did want to get this month's big payment, and then I would have been good going weekly. It's a possibility that its first week payout could be nice amount. And the reason when I say that is Coney is supposed to be getting paid this coming week. Well, right now you all listen to this video this week, right? So what's going to happen to the 4 weeks that Coney has been collecting the premiums from the cover calls, right? So is it going to go all into this first week? I don't think it will be. I don't think it will, because if it paid out for the whole month in this first week, and then it pays every week, the price will definitely be down and won't have a chance. It may come down to $5 if Coney pays, say, 40 cents, and then here after it starts paying maybe 10 to 11 to 20 cents. It's almost be like ulti right now. So I don't see that happen. I think they'll probably spread that this past month's premium over the course of the next 4 weeks. If they go all in on this first week, um, mm, I don't know if it'll be good for the price. All right, Curtis. Mr. Curtis says, YieldMax is paying weekly now. Your margin is about to get paid down significantly faster. Clap your hands. Yes. I says YieldMax paying weekly will have me getting paid from 14 positions every Friday going forward. That doesn't include my round hill position, my bitwise position, my granite share position. I have one more major purchase to make, and that is to make an additional purchase of ICOI, and then I'm done other than nibbling. Kelly says HOOWPLTW is all you need, brother. I said, I do have those. Do I have those too? No, I don't have the round hill version of Robinhood, but I do have Play T and PLTW and HOOY. I said, right now, I don't want to pay that price tag of $70 or more for a share right now, but I do like the distributions. Ricardo Hernandez says, how are you doing today? Please share. I posted a screenshot. Go take a look at it. And I think he did. He says, not bad. You are still hanging in there. Today was a great buying opportunity. I feel there's more to come. I brought more today. I said, I'm looking to make more major purchase in IOC and maybe TSYY. And I think I'm going to sit tight after that, other than nibbling. Because I mentioned this new one, ETCO, ETCO. All right, let's check our shorts. Check our shorts out. Where we at? 4 weeks ago, that's 2-0. 3 weeks ago, it's 2-0. 9 days ago, it's 2-0. Right here. All right. Ricardo says, how are you doing? I put the thumbs up because I think he asked me this maybe in 3 different positions. I guess he was trying to get my attention. I got to do a better job, guys, of replying throughout the week to these, so I don't have so many the night before trying to get done, so I can get to bed earlier. Jeremy says, very interested on what I just watched new with investing. So he saw this. He's new with investing. He saw what I did, got his attention. So it will lead him to discovering other things. I can figure out how to pronounce my friend name here with this wizard cap on. I don't know how to pronounce all this. I can't make it out. 3138 says God bless. Gave him some love. Dirty 772 says, what is your average on oh, excuse me. He said, what is your average on bull? My average cost is 1603. Mm. I was wrong. I was wrong. JBO Music TV. It is you. She said I made 20,000 off it so far. And I'm thinking she's talking about ICOI. Or either she's just talking dividends in general. Well, my video is about ICOI, so it is ICOI. So she said, I made 20 bands off it so far. I'm tickled. It's on fire. Facts. Thank you always. So this is what she's talking about, saving lives. Well, hey, all praises to God. I'm going to give all the glory to God because he helped me. I help others, but it's all because of what he has established. So I thank you, but more importantly, we thank God, right? I said, man, that is great. I'm trying to be like you, man, because ICOI is making bank. Making bank. Yes, it is. Mike Lester said, ooh, big purchase, baby. I like that. Your dividend will be between 4 and 7K now. I say, yes, sir, indeed. I'm hoping to add another 700 shares in a few weeks. If everything plays out, or as soon as PLTR hits 200 per share. All right. 360 says, if we hold for 2 years, we will make our money back. After that, it's just cash flow. Wake up, people. This is one of the keys to retiring early. I applaud you, 360X. He's absolutely right. I know people like 2 years, that's a long time. Some of them take 2 years. He gave you some extra months. Misty, when it was doing what it's doing, man, you could do almost 12 months, 12 to 18. And with Hui, if you got in at Hui and what's the other one? Platy. If you got into those when it was first came out around $50 and you got you a big position, oh, you making bank. Not only you making bank per month, but you are up probably 30-40% in profit probably. Set you a stop limit order so when these things do pull back, you get out and get back in at a lower price, still making house money. All right, Absolute Rudy or Truty says great transparency. I just got to be careful. That was just a rough 3.5% pullback and was terrible. What happened if we get one of those black swans or a continued set off of 10 to 12% per on the NASDAQ? All that would drop further. So gotta be careful out there. I remember I got margin call many times over 10 years. That's why it's critical to always have extra cash on hand to satisfy it before they wipe your stocks out. And he's right, because that did happen to me back in Liberation Day, right? I think that's when it happened to me, and I was curious as to what to happen. So I can say I let it happen, but didn't have much of a choice. I guess I could have sold some of my positions myself, but I want to see what they would do, and then you'll never know until you test the water. So I did, and I do know that it looks like what they would do first is sell one of your highest maintenance required position. So mine's at that time, even though I had AMC before I turned margin on, but its ratio was 100%. So they sold all of my AMC. So that gave me a loss of about $3,000 to $4,000. They sold 200 shares of my Misty because it had the next highest ratio at 60%. And I believe that was it. I believe those all the positions they sold all. So one way, either you're gonna sell it or they gonna sell it, right? Or you're gonna put some cash, like he's saying, have extra cash on hand, and you are good. All right. Let's see here. I said you're absolutely right. Man, it's late. I gotta get to bed. I said you're absolutely right. I'm thinking about getting to bed. You're absolutely right. Now, I will say I was surprised that my account held as good as it did. It was very surprising, to say the least. I do need to get a significant amount of buffer, but I do want to make one more purchase, and then I'll be through for the year, other than making some nibbling along the way. I would like to get a monthly average of 15K per month in dividends. The Divi tracker has me at 12K per month, um, with my last purchase of ICOI, ICONI. That's what I'm gonna start calling that. And I believe my next purchase of ICONI, or should I say additional purchase, and I think it would hit my target. Lord knows I don't need a 10 or 20% drop in the market. That would be bloody murder. This individual says, thanks for the update. Glad you didn't get margin call. I said, man, that was crazy. I was upset, got up to 78,000. Then all at once it dropped 9.5K, 26% in my account. It didn't flinch. Very surprising, but I think it's due to my purchase in ICONI. And it only dropped $1. ICONI only dropped $1.95, 4.2%. So it held its value, which helped my account, um, in my opinion. Maurice Patterson says, how do you feel about YieldMax going to weekly? So several people are interested in how I felt about YieldMax going to weekly, or how I might feel like Coney going to weekly. So I've tried to answer these. Oh, Oh, excuse me. I says, excuse me. I said, Maurice, I think it's going to work out more favorably for me, especially psychologically. For some reason, waiting a month to get paid when you have ups and downs in the market seems very, very long time. Seems like a very, very long time. I don't think I don't think in my lifetime I've held a job that paid weekly other than maybe a part-time summer job making cash. Um, I said, okay, Hernandez says, I'm down, but not much. I'm still up almost overall, which isn't bad. I said, no, that's very good. Evidently, you made some good decisions and got in and good entry points and have positions that don't have a huge decline. Hooray. Uh, Mart, Martens, Mortez, I'm not saying that right. Christina says, oh man, I'm down 22 from 60 at 37K right now. Today was a massacre. Now, um, I'm assuming most of y'all know, but it's hard to know where everybody at when they begin their investment journey. Now, I didn't set stop loss so that when these positions got down to a certain point, it kicked me out. I didn't do that, but I do want to emphasize that it's probably good for those of you who are not in my situation. If you want to get out of those positions, you can have set some stop limit orders, kicks you out, and then you could buy back in once you see that it's near its bottom, and you'll be at a good entry point. You take your profit from your originally sell off or your capital. Um, yeah. Um, Jeremiah says I was worried about losing $1,100. He said, "Oh my goodness, I was worried about losing $1,100, and you were down 22,000." Basically, he's saying you make my $1,100 not seem like it was that much. But I wanted to say, hey, I went down 9.5K, 26%, shortly after just reaching 78. Somehow my account did hold up, and I do believe it's due to ICOI. That only dropped $1.95 with all the blood in the streets that was happening. I said, Jeremiah, don't feel bad. Your $1,100 was big for you. So I don't want to minimize all that cost. Psychologically, it all felt the same. All right. Posts. I think I did quite a few posts this week, didn't I? Let's see where we at here. 8 days ago. All right. All right. 3 days ago. Mr. Washington says, yes, you are about to get paid and that margin will go down fast. I said, not so fast, Mr. Curtis. I've increased my margin borrowing and I'm looking forward to making another one. Purchase in about a week and a half, somewhere around the 22nd or 23rd if play D gets above 185 to 190. So, yeah, it's good, Mr. Curtis, but your boy is spending more money that he don't even have. Victor says, bro, waited on Misty to come back up and start paying dividends. He got 3 likes on that. And basically, I said if MicroStrategy start moving, it will. Ricardo says, yeah, I told you that yesterday. And I'm assuming, oh, he's talking about going weekly. Yeah, look, I wasn't trying to take no credit away from him. If you said it, I forgot. But I appreciate it, man. My bad. 3138 says incredible. I said, yeah, I didn't see that coming. But Mike, Les Ricardo said he told me. I said, I had no idea this was in the works. I'm getting all these weekly pairs all at once, a total of 14 positions every Friday and 2 of the 14 on Thursday. Everything Max Dividend said. What? All right. I think a lot of y'all had some comments here. All right, so this is a screenshot I posted. One of you was wanting to know how I was doing. 1 second, let me stand up here. Stretch. Mm. All right. Gotta get that stretch in. All right. Um, so one of you wanted to know, and I was about to take a power nap, and I said, you know what, let me go and post it because um they're curious, and I can understand why they would be curious because of my account and how risk volatile my account is. And I could, so I wanted to share where I was at and being vulnerable, right? Um, if I'm gonna show you the good, I want to show you the bad, right? All right, so hostile host Leaky said, hopeful for a rebound. I sold puts last week, not puts on YieldMax. I said, if I'm correct, selling put was a good move because you're saying you're anticipating your position going down, right? He replied, my mistake. I sold cash secure puts on hood and bought calls on the spot right at close for a $660 stake today. So I'm not quite sure what he said. I sold cash secure puts on hood. He sold cash secure puts on hood. I'm not sure what the difference of being cash. I'm assuming he didn't borrow money for that. I don't know. Y'all know more than I do. Somebody might have to explain that to me. Of course, I could always Google it up or look at chat, but you guys drop that knowledge. All right. Bear Legacy says Trump fell into STFU again. I says we need cool heads here in this situation, or things can get very, very crazy very fast, in my opinion. China holds a lot of our debt, and that probably could hurt us if they call that debt, right? If I understand, because I think they get treasury bills or something like that, or bonds, which is debt, and we pay them interest for holding that debt, blah, 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 something like that. Um, I may not understand completely, but that's what I was thinking. Um, victimizer, victimizer. This is why you don't use margin. He said, "This is why you don't use margin." He says. I said, "No, no. This is why you use margin, OPM, others people money to get ahead. You use it carefully and responsible, and you will come out ahead in the end. You know the risks going in. You take calculated risks, of course. Me, I'm taking all the risks. She don't tell no one. Oh, shh, don't tell no one. I said that. Uh, he said, at least you're hanging in there. This was Ricardo. Mike Lesser. He says, rough day for me too. I'm down 4,500 in profits. Still up a lot overall, but depressing at times like this. Mike, I says, you got this thing. Your account is pretty much well built for with withstanding a huge drop. You being down 4,500, that's a walk in the park, my brother. You make that back in 1 day plus more. He said, that's true. I already got half back, my dude. Tuesday will be dropping me a pile too, cause I'm on the weeklies, baby. Dirty says, got for a negative 900 today. And I seen it coming, just wanted to be long. Oh well. I think he said he got for a negative. So I think I understand what he's saying now. Earlier I didn't, but I think I understand now. Absolute says, I was short in the market, so cashed out, being waiting for this pullback. If you got ammo, you put it to work. And if there's more selling next week, yep, he's right. I said, sounds like you got the strategy down, my brother. Cash is king when there's blood in the streets. He's absolutely right. This is how you really make money. You got cash just waiting on the side and 20% pullbacks. Oh, man. You can get in there a little bit slow and make some money, or you go all in and risk it going down even further. Uh, um, Bless says after hours is getting more brutal. Yes, I saw that, man. I saw that after hours it kept going down. I saw that and I was like, what? I was like, oh my goodness. But my account still held up. Thank the Lord. Um, but John said, for everyone that wants to know why the market took a dump, it's because Trump potential massive tariff policy towards China. Yep. Somebody was saying that the whales were selling off. And I was telling somebody, I was like, no. I said, yeah, that could have happened. But for crypto and the stock market to go down at the same time and drop like it did, it was the tariff tweet. Now, everybody reacted, or somebody, the market reacted, and they boom. Growth Stocks Life says cover calls equals capped upside and unlimited downside. He's got 4 likes. I said that is true, but I'll take it. I'll take it. This individual says, not to worry, brother. It will rebound on Monday. And let's see where we at right now. 4,200 already. So y'all saw when I started this, it was at what, $2,800. Yeah, yep, 25. So now it's almost double right now. Yep, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see here. What were we? It was right here, I think. Yeah. My good friend here says, you and I know. I think this is a small phrase I heard Michael Jackson saying, but other than that, I don't. That's all I remember. You and I don't know the rest of it. I said, I feel you, my brother. Psychologically, I think we are all in the same boat. A few of us for even better. What did I say? I feel you, my brother. Psychologically, I think we were all in the same boat. A few of us for even better. Fair. I should have said fair even better. I think that's what I was trying to say. Anthony says, only, only the strong survives. Yes, only the strong survive. I said, let's go, Anthony. We survive, my brother. Jugo says, bro, my condolences. I can't say that, bro. I'm sorry. He said, bro, my condolences. I says, it's all good, my guy. We survived to live another day. Charles says, awful day. What a complete unnecessary. This was completely unnecessary. I says, yeah, China is talking about retaliatory responds if we don't back off with the 100% threat. If cooler heads don't prevail, I can't imagine what could be on the other end of this. Road mapping to 5 says it's like whenever I bulk buy after I waited for drop prices, they drop even more. I bought 8K of stocks today and had all the confidence. This is crazy. I'm gonna say that was probably an anomaly situation. But yeah, look, I feel you. I buy stuff, and right after it goes down, it's like, man, and maybe that's where if I knew how to read charts, I could better see what's potentially getting ready to happen. Jugo says Trump will meet with the Chinese Prime Minister, uh, get a compliment and some sort of ballable and reverse the tariffs. Then stocks will hit a new high. I said, I feel your pain. I feel your pain on that roadmap. It seems right after I make a purchase, the stock dips 9 times out of 10. And then I said, Jugo, did I hear you say taco? Did I hear you say taco, man? Did I? Huh? I think I just heard you say taco. Ooh, we're almost at the end. Y'all got back any comments these this week? Bitcoin Jose 420 says, how much money did you have to add because of your how much money did you have to add because all come on. How much money did you have? How much money did you have to add because you're all on margin? Oh, how much money did I have to add? Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think I had about 31,000, and from there I've been just reinvesting the dividends every time and get paid in dividends, and the available margin increases. And I just keep rinsing and repeating the process to the point to where I'm at 140,000 available. What is this? Views and challenges. T. What is this? View and challenge. I can't make it all out. Says love that. I said thank you, sir. I said thank you, sir. I thank the Lord for this opportunity. We're trying to grow this monthly income passive. That is our goal to one. I mean, our goal is to get 15K a month in passive dividends, and I think, um, I'm more. What is this? I think I'm more. What was I trying to say? Purchase away. Oh, I think I'm one more, but I didn't get it there. I think can I think I'm one more. Can we edit that? Can we edit that? What is that? I think I'm one more major purchase away. Yep. One more. My back is killing me right now because I'm bent over a little bit. Sway Reed says, I love you, P. Diddy style. I says, no, that's not cool, man. No P. Diddy style over here. My friend says, nice. Thumbs up. I say, yeah, I had a couple hundred, so I decided to jump into XP. All right. I think that is all. Uh, did I overlook this? He says, if we hold for, yep, right. I did respond to it verbally. All right. So that covers everybody's comments. All righty. All right. See here. All right. All right. I'm out. It is very late. Man, the market is It's after, man, wow, that's late. All right, guys. I'm up 4,300 right now. It's almost 7%, 67,143. Hope for this week is better. Look like the futures are up. So, hey, let's get this money this week. Y'all have a good one. I am out. How do I stop my video? That's what I don't like about this. See if we can find it. There we go.